السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. مطران أرمني يشيد بالدولة العثمانية ويذكر حقائق قد تكون غائبة لدى الكثير من الناس اللي بتعتقد أنه علاقة الأتراك أو علاقة الدولة العثمانية عموما بالأرمن كانت دائما فيها مشاحنات وفيها مشاكل، بل هناك حقائق صادمة وهناك فضل كبير للدولة العثمانية وخاصة السلطان محمد الفاتح في استقدام الأرمن، وكيف كانت علاقة الأرمن بالدولة العثمانية. ما أنا اللي حقلكم وإنما مطران الكنيسة الأرمنية في إسطنبول ليفون أرشبيشوب زكيان تكلم بهذا الخصوص. خلينا نستمع ونشوف شو اللي قاله. بالمناسبة يلي رتب هذا اللقاء هو صديق إلي اسمه فادي داغر، هو مخرج مسيحي، وأيضا هو يعني عقليته متفتحة وينظر بنظر بعيد للعديد من الأمور. فمثلا لما افتتح مسجد آيا صوفيا كان من الناس اللي انبسطوا بأنه أعيد آيا صوفيا مسجد رغم أنه هو مسيحي، لأن اعتبر أنه هذا الأمر يرفع من شأنه، فبدل ما الواحد يفوت يدخل بحذائه وعم يدخل حافي عم يكون في تستر وعم يكون في رفع لمكانة مسجد آيا صوفيا. فكان من الأشخاص اللي انبسطوا بإعادة افتتاح مسجد آيا صوفيا، فهو يلي رتب هذا اللقاء يلي حنحضره هلا بعد شوي.
Just to make it simpler, we can start from the period of Mehmet the Conqueror, Mehmet II, who conquered Constantinople and who brought a lot of Armenians, many Armenians, especially from Crimea and from different regions of Anatolia, especially from today's Yinkemaliye and other regions, to Constantinople, to develop especially commerce and economics in the empire. Armenians were known as excellent merchants everywhere since the late Middle Ages, even early Middle Ages. And so this was an idea of Fatih, who also established the millet system, it seems at this state. In any case, he established the Patriarchate of Armenians in the capital. He confirmed the Patriarchate of Greeks, the Ecumenical Patriarchate, and he also gave a head to the Jewish community and his chiefs, so that there was a great familiarity, also a great confidence, so that later the Armenian community was even called the loyal millet, loyal community, because Armenians improved the economic and financial situation of the empire. Then in the 19th century, Armenians occupied in the empire even political leading positions. For instance, Kazaz Artin Amira, there was the class of Amiras, these very welfare people who, for their richness, for their welfare, had also some authority in the affairs of the empire. Kazaz Artin Amira, we can say, was the main counselor, the chief counselor of Mahmud II. And in the 19th century, Armenians have often been the ministers, the Nazir of Barutane. Barutane was some kind of Ministry of Defense. And of Darpane. Darpane was the place where money was coined.
We can say overall the relation was very good.
There is no very good system in this world, but it was a system which had a basic respect of the faith, of the identity of its minorities or its millets. This changes, especially I underline this, with the Ittihad system or the Ittihad movement, which comes from a Western inspiration. Because in the West, especially when the modern statement of the nation is based upon citizenship, and there is no other factor defining the nation but citizenship. So there is no place for other factors, as for instance religious faith, which independently from the faith is also a cultural factor. So that, in my opinion, the Western system has not sufficiently considered this complexity of the human being, wanted to reduce everything to citizenship, which is a very good thing, but becomes unilateral if starting from this basis, from this point, you will not see any other factor defining an identity. This was the Ittihad ideology, which was first expressed in the French national system, État-nation. The nation state means this. We have seen it in Yugoslavia under our eyes. You are Serbian, so you can't deal with the Croatians. You are the Croatians, you can't deal with Serbians. Or there was the exile for some people, for the minorities, or there are also the massacres, unfortunately. This logical consequence. So that the imperial systems, and not only in the Ottoman Empire, we have something similar also in the Austrian Empire, especially in the Balkanian countries. The history is very complex, is very complicated, and there is, we can say, a great break of the relationship of Armenians, especially of Armenians, in and with the Ottoman Empire, and we can distinguish two great periods, just defining this break, or defined by this break. The pre-Ittihad period, which is in continuity with Fatih Sultan Mehmet's ideology, ideals, and the Ittihad and post-Ittihad period. And the Ittihad period, of course, because I gave the example of Yugoslavia. So, in a few words, there was in the Ottoman system such an advantage, we can say, without idealizing anything. There is no perfect system in this world, but we can have there. The Ottoman Empire just was a multinational, multi-ethnical, multicultural, multi-religious empire structure in which different identities could live together. Of course, everywhere there are conflicts, but conflictuality today there is in all countries. Let's see what happens in America, what happened in France. Just for example, les gilets jaunes, the yellow jackets, so that conflictuality is not by itself a proof of impossibility of coexistence or living together.
And there was also politically, the Armenian proved that they were good politicians during the Empire, Ottoman. And even in Lebanon, we had two mutasarrif. The first one and the last one in Lebanon, they were Armenians. And even Al-Masarif, financially, they were responsible of everything that has they related to money, to...
And of course, all these people also, the Greek fanariots, defended the cause of the Ottoman Empire just as it was their own empire. This was explicitly taught by Kazazartin to Mahmud II. He says to him, this empire is mine as it is yours.
Allah.
So that he said this to the Sultan himself. Because the Sultan,
Which Sultan? Mehmet?
Mahmud.
Mahmud.
Mahmud the second, the Sultan of Tanzimat. He has such a great appreciation of Artin that he doesn't want that Artin is busy anymore with the affairs of the Armenian community. He says, that's not possible, Sultan. He says, God created every one of us with an own identity. He created you as a Muslim Sultan, and he created me as an Armenian. So if I'm not busy in the affairs of my Armenian community, I can't serve your empire. But this empire is mine as it is yours. So I will do both things. I will take care of my community, and I will take care of the affairs of the empire. And the Sultan is convinced. He says, well, take care of the affairs of your community, but not to such an extent that they execute that you may serve the empire. So that try to put together both things.
I have one last question. If you don't want to answer, you have the choice. This love story between the empire and the Armenian, they had everything and they gave everything they had. What happened? There is a third party who came and did something bad between them.
Parties, you see, of course, the main factor, in my opinion, is the Ittihadist idea. The Ittihad. Mm-hmm. It's an Arabic word.
Yes.
Union and progress. This union, of course, is intended in the frame of the ideology of nation state. The nation makes the state, the state makes the nation, so that the nationality is defined by citizenship, by the belonging to the state. You are French if you belong to the French state. They visited Europe. They knew especially France, but all Europe well enough. And they thought, in France there are only French, and in Germany only Germans, and in Italy Italians. Why? In Turkey, because the aim was to create Turkey, a nation state. We have to have Armenians, Jews, Greeks. The Muslim minorities didn't put to their eyes some question because they belong to the Ummah. And we must confess that if the Republic, that is citizenship system, helps to consider all citizens of whatever religion, of whatever ethnic identity, of whatever language, as equal citizens, so the imperial system helps us to understand how they can live together. There are two dimensions which have to be compounded to put at a synthesis and not to be put one against the other. That is my personal view, my personal idea.
Yeah.
هذا كل شيء بالنسبة لهذا الفيديو. إن شاء الله تكونوا استفدتوا منه واستفدتوا من هذه المعلومات. وإذا حبيتوا تشاركوا الفيديو أصحابكم والناس اللي ما عندها اطلاع على هذا الموضوع لحتى تعرف فعلا كيف كانت علاقة الأرمن بالدولة العثمانية وكيف الدولة العثمانية قدمت الكثير للأرمن، ففيكم تشاركوا هذا الفيديو أصحابكم. وهذا كل شيء، والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.